Hi, it's me, Ricky from the Sprout Sharing Show, and I love bread. And you're watching a podcast where nostalgia comes alive. It's Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. And bread it. Oh, I mean, roll it.
Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, the podcast where nostalgia comes alive. Since July of 2021, Jake and his friends have interviewed professionals in the worlds of acting, directing, writing, puppeteering, and many more. Who will they be chatting with in this week's interview? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Over here with us, thank you for joining. As always, I'm your host, Jake Deffinbaugh. With me today, as always, our co-hosts, Chris Bixby and Matt Bingel. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. Hi, everybody. How are you, Jake?
I'm doing great, Matt. Thank you for asking. Chris, what do you have for today?
Yes, today's guest is an actor who a lot of you may recognize as one of the original hosts of the Sprout Morning Block, the Sunny Side Up show, previously hosting the Birthday Show. He also performed Ricky on the Sprout Sharing Show and has acted on camera on various projects, which we'll be discussing later on. Please welcome Kevin Yamada. Kevin, happy to have you here.
Aloha. Thanks for having me.
Hello to you too.
Aloha.
Yes.
Aloha.
Pleasure to have you here.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. You guys have a great podcast and show, so it's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
Great to have
Great
you
to
here.
hear.
So,
Thank you very much.
so could you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay, so I am an actor. I was born and raised in Hawaii, and it's where I live now, with my girlfriend and our two little dogs. And I grew up in Hawaii, and I went to the University of Hawaii. I studied to become a teacher, and then I kind of fell into acting. And then I lived in Philadelphia, and I also lived in New York.
Nice.
Awesome. So, what was your childhood like, and how did you grow up?
Oh, so like I said, I was born and raised in Hawaii, and people think that since you grow up in Hawaii, you go to the beach every day, but I'm not really a beach person. I'm more of I did like sports like basketball and wrestling and stuff, but I really enjoy TV. And some of the TV shows that I really enjoyed as a kid is, I think you're familiar with like Sesame Street, of
Oh
course,
yeah.
um,
Of course.
the Electric Company,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and
Mhm.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And
Yes.
those really affected my lives and
Yes.
affected our writing and our performances on PBS Kids Sprout on the Birthday Show as well as the Sunny Side Up show. But growing up in Hawaii, one thing that was unique is that we had this show. We had a station that was catered toward the Japanese people, and so it was called Kiku, and one of the shows on it was this show called Kikaida, and it was my first superhero hero. So um, he was a machine who was half blue and half red, and he fought evil monsters or evil robots. He was a robot himself, but he was a good robot, and he fought evil robots. And each robot that came out or monster had a first name that was a color, and the second name that was the name of an animal. So every week he'd fight a different monster. It'd be like blue buffalo or orange ant or green mantis, and then be all in Japanese, except for a very few English words. And those English words, a lot of times, where when the monster said his own name, he's like, "I'm Silver Horse," So and each week he'd fight those things. Oh, and then actually here's a DVD of it. I'm not advertising or anything, but just to show you like what he looked like. His name was Jito, so he would change into this superhero robot, and he would fight evil robots. So that was
That's
one
awesome.
thing. And another thing in my childhood that I grew up watching TV in Hawaii was this show called the Checkers and Pogo Show, and that was an interstitial. For those of you that don't know, that might be listening, an interstitial is not a show into itself, but it comes in between the regular show. It's kind of like Sunny Side Up show, where we come in between Barney or Bob the Builder, and we'd have little segments. So this is what the Checkers and Pogo show were, and their hosts were Checkers, who was this guy that wore a bowler hat. He had like these square glasses, and he'd wear these checkered shirts. And Pogo Pogue was the other host, and he had this like kind of cone hat and a goatee. And they used to celebrate birthdays, which actually that was my first TV appearance. Is I was a 7-year-old, and they put all the birthday people on stage, and they celebrate or they sing the birthday song to them. So like that was my first TV experience celebrating birthdays, coincidentally. So that was another show that affected me a lot.
That's nice. And I'm kind of curious. So since you mentioned growing up with Sesame Street, like, did you have like any favorite like characters?
Ooh, I loved Ernie and Bert. I
Yes.
loved Kermit the Frog and his Sesame Street News.
Oh
And
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the Sesame
Yeah.
Street
yeah,
News
Uh-huh.
yeah, Kermit
flashes.
the Frog,
Yes.
Sesame Street News, and then I, I don't know, like certain bits like stick in your mind. So I remember this one time where um Kermit the Frog was doing Sesame Street News and he was doing bird impressions. He was like, "Oh, do you want to see my bird impressions? This is a swallow, oh, a duck," and he go down and come back up, that kind of stuff. It was those silly things that I just thought were like hilarious.
Classic. It's wonderful.
Yes, it is. So before working on Sprout, you worked for Ohio Productions. I believe I'm pronouncing that right.
Oh,
Where you
here, yeah,
where,
yes,
where you
yes,
performed and taught children's theater. Could
yes.
you kind of talk about that experience?
Oh, okay, so that was a excuse me, really fun experience. We performed for elementary school kids and preschool kids, and it was written. All the musicals were like environmental musicals. So we talked about preserving the reef and fishes and invasive species, like uh, different plants and things that you shouldn't bring into Hawaii, that kind of stuff. And then so the all the plays were written by Lisa Matsumoto. Music was written by Rosalind, and it was just a really fun and humorous and entertaining way to teach the kids about the environment. And we also did a play called Fun with Fables, and we told Aesop's fables with
Oh
music as
nice.
well. Yeah, so that actually that gave me the because it was live and you could interact. That first gave me the first experience of how to speak with kids and how to interact and really connect with them.
Nice. That's actually a perfect segue into the next question. So, of course, with Sprout, as I mentioned in your introduction, before Sunny Set Up show, there was the birthday show, of course. So in general, I guess, what was the audition process like for kind of getting on Sprout?
Okay, so
That's
we auditioned in New York. So I moved from Hawaii to New York with the idea that I wanted to get onto a Broadway show. I did a ton of musicals in Hawaii. Excuse me, sorry. And then moved to New York and just went on a ton of auditions. And one of the auditions was for a new station called PBS Kids Sprout. They hadn't even started yet. And then so for the audition, we did a script. They wanted me to sing a song because I guess for the birthday show, the birthday host was going to be singing a birthday song. Later on, they got Barney and Elmo to do it. So I was like, oh, okay, you got the big guns. That's cool. But for the audition, there was a script and there was a song, and I did both, and I got a call back. And then at the callback, I went in and I thought, oh, you know what? For this, I prepared the script, and for the song, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna give them like a pop song. I'm gonna sing a song from Ohia Productions, one of their musical, about the reef songs. And then I'll give them like a Broadway song, so I won't sing a whole song, but I'll give them little snippets of each so that I can show my range and I'll dazzle them. So I
Hmm.
go into the audition, and I first do the acting part, the scene part, and then they go, "Thank you," and I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I turn around, and usually when they don't ask for the second part of the audition, it means I don't think you got it. So I say thank you. I turn around, I'm going to the door, and I'm thinking, you know what? If I don't see anything now, uh, I'm gonna regret it. So I turn around and tell them, "Do you want to hear my song?" Because I'm thinking I'm gonna dazzle them with I'm gonna make up for it for my song, and they go like, "No." and then I'm like crushed, like on the outside I'm smiling, but on the inside my heart sinks because it's like, oh, no, it's for sure I didn't get it. They don't even want to hear my song, and I turn around and still smiling and go out, but on the inside I'm crushed, and then I go home and I guess I didn't do well. I didn't get the job. On to the next, but the next day they called and they said, hey, you're on the show. You're gonna be a host of the birthday show. I'm like, wait, what? So it was one of those things where as an actor sometimes um you can misinterpret things, and I thought, oh, they didn't want to see my whole audition because I sucked, but in essence I guess they saw enough and I got hired.
Nice.
Very nice.
That's wonderful to hear. Yeah, birthday shows are wonderful, little piece before even the Science Lab show was a
Oh,
thing where
thanks.
you kind of like reading the cards, and then every single time where there's gonna be like a happy birthday song where some like characters
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Barney, Elmo,
yes,
Yeah.
Snotty, JJ, the
yeah,
Yeah,
Chaplain, Caillou got to sing it, which I
yes,
was
yes, yes.
pretty cool.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
great memories. Yeah. So that first year we shot once a month, and we shot in LA, and then the second season we shot all in Philadelphia. Yeah.
Hmm.
Just as a
Nice.
nice.
little
Yeah, for the
trivia.
show, yeah, wonderful segment. So I'm kind of curious now. So what was the transition like from the birthday show to the Sunny Side Up show?
Oh, okay. So that was an interesting transition. While I was hosting the birthday show, they did this kind of pilot or tryout show called Hooray for Mother's Day.
Oh,
For
okay.
that spring, they said, oh, send in your messages and hooray Mother's Day messages to your mothers, and Kevin will read it on air, and that was live. So that was like our introduction to. Actually, I think this is one of the shirts I wore for that for that Hooray for Mother's Day celebration. And
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
yeah, it was fun, but it was also nerve wracking because I've never done a live TV show before. So, when they, okay, we're going to go in 10, 9, and I was like, I want to run away. But no, okay, I'll stay. And then, um, so we did that and it did well, so I think from then they started, okay, in the fall, we're going to start something called the Sunny Side Up show. We're going to incorporate the birthday show, but we're also going to um, incorporate other things like weather, messages from kids, videos, all that kind of stuff. So the whole idea was that we're a live show for kids, and they can send in an email or send in pictures or videos, and we can show it live on air and really interact with kids.
Nice. Yeah, I love the Sunny Side Up show. I grew up watching that a lot.
Oh,
Me
good.
too. Me too. Sunny
Yes,
Side
so did
Up.
I.
It was
Yes.
such a cool block.
Really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Yeah. Everybody was so fun and nice to work with, from the writers and producers, puppeteers, all the other hosts. They're just a very
Kelly,
talented and fun.
Sean.
Yes. Yes. Everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. So yeah, like what was it like working with the other hosts and puppeteers? Because, like Jake just mentioned, there was Kelly and of course later Sean and of course all the different puppeteers like played Chica.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Forrest, Brandon,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Ed.
great thing, yeah, and all the people that you mentioned, it was great in that, like, we all worked as a group. Everybody had their different strengths. So a lot of times, Kelly and Sean were very crafty. They're very artful. Sean's like a professional painter, and
Oh
Kelly
yeah.
can just
Mhm.
draw, and
Yes,
so
yes.
we'd kind of feed off each other, and kind of work off, like, oh, what works, what's better, what's more fun, what gets the kids engaged, and from there, what do people find funny. From there, it was a great collaboration, because everybody just kind of worked together. And I don't know if the other hosts give you the kind of like the blueprint of what happened. Was that there's three hosts and three producers, or puppeteers that match with each other, and it would be a 3-week cycle. So 1 week you're prepping, 1 week you're on the air, and the third week you're off, and it goes into that cycle, so that with three hosts, every host is doing a week, and everybody is doing a prep and somebody is off, and it goes like that, and you're paired up with a different puppeteer. And often we change up the teams, so you get a different perspective of like somebody else's humor or it's somebody else's writing. Like for instance, Forrest Harding, who was my first producer puppeteer as Chica. He's musically he's really good. Like he can play the guitar, he can play the ukulele. So a lot of times we used to do a lot of music things. In our first week of in our first full week of the Sunny Shut Up show, we did a rap. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like
Yes.
Oh yeah.
our first like dive into music. This is, and then Forrest wrote some really great lyrics. This is a rap, and raps out the best. So says Chica sitting in her nest. And then we did that, and yeah, it was just a great kind of collaboration. Oh, one side note on that rap, when we were doing it live, it was our first full week, so we're just kind of trying out different things. And then for that one, we chose that segment because it was a long segment, and then we're like, oh, okay, let's just do it. And then as I was singing the song, it's like after we sang all Forrest's lyrics, yeah, and then we're supposed to end the song, but the producer comes on the mic and goes, you have 1 minute left. And we're like, uh-oh.
Oh.
So with live TV, sometimes you have to make that split decision and say, do I end the song and kind of try to fill time with something else, or do I try to fill it by continue singing? So luckily I kind of had a backup plan in my mind where I did a call and answer. Let's grow was the slogan of PBS Kids Sprout at the time. So I did a call and answer. So I said, when we say let's, you say grow, let's grow, that kind of thing. And so I kind of extended it, and we kind of filled in. And that was the other good thing too, is that a lot of people would throw in jokes. Hey, how about you say that? How about you say this? It could be from the puppeteer, it could be from the host, it could be from one of the people in the production, that's doing the camera or the sound or the producing. And then so they gave us a couple of jokes to end it. One was like, okay, nod your heads, because we're going to Noddy in the toy Tizzle. Let's go visit him. So so you were saying that how was it working with everybody? It was really good, because in that segment, a ton of people contributed to the music, a ton of people contributed to all the jokes. And I'm just lucky that me and Chico are the ones who get to present the jokes, but it's really a village and a whole group of people that contribute to the segments and make it enjoyable and work.
It's nice.
Without a doubt. So I'm curious, do you have any favorite segments or songs from Sunny Side Up?
Ooh, so Sunny Set Up, the rap, like I said, was one of my favorite songs. When Jen was a puppeteer, we did Pirates Week,
Oh, wow.
which each week had a theme. It could be colors, it could be
Yeah.
food, and then we kind of just was like, let's just throw it out there. Let's try to do pirates, and they approved it. We thought, oh, okay, they approved it. So one of the segments we did was we did pirates synchronized swimming. So me
Oh,
and Chica
yeah.
would do different
Oh
moves.
yeah.
And the fun part was when we went down under the desk and we put our legs up. So Chica would have her feet, and then I put up my feet, but there'd be like one that's a peg leg, So it'd be like, so that was the kind of the joke that, oh, okay, pirates have peg legs, so we do one regular leg and one peg leg. So that was one of my favorite
I
ones.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, with Brendan, we had this song called Monster Boogie for Halloween, where we talked about colors, and it was a guessing game where who's red, and then it was Elmo, who's blue, was Cookie Monster. Another one that
Yeah.
a favorite that I had was we did Sports Week one week with Ed was the puppeteer that week, and one of the cool things that we did, since we filmed in Philadelphia, is that they arranged us for us to visit the Philadelphia Phillies. And it was that year that they won the World Series, and we got to go downstairs. We got to go on the field to give the Philly Fanatic the Good Egg Award. We got to
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, I remember
And then
those.
and on a personal note, I got to interview Shane Victorino, who was called the Flying Hawaiian. He played in the outfield, and he was from Hawaii. So and he had a young daughter, and she got to be on the show. So it was a really nice coming together. And actually, I have a frame that we showed on the
Oh,
show.
that's cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is made by
Love
um
that.
Shannon, our props person. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
great.
Oh
Wow,
my
that's really
goodness.
cool.
That's great.
I'm so pale. I'm very pale in this picture, but yeah.
Mm. If you
But yeah, it's
if you're
great.
listening on audio to describe the
Oh
photo,
yeah.
it's if you're listening on audio, I'm just going to describe the photo real quick. It's Kevin with Chica and the Philly Fanatic, the mascot of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great.
That is
That
amazing.
is
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and the ABC walkout.
From ABC Bucks.
The alphabet song,
Oh yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah.
and of
Yeah,
course the
there's a lot of good
happy
ones.
birthday.
Of course,
Yes.
Happy
That's a
happy
classic,
birthday
yes.
song.
Yeah. That is yeah. Oh yeah, the ABC. Yeah. Those are all great too. Yeah, it was so fun. Yeah, and oh yeah, I forgot that there's only a audio podcast. So whenever I'm
No,
showing
this
things,
is video.
I
This
apologize.
is
This is video.
no, this is video and audio.
Got
So
it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, video on YouTube and listening
and audio
Spotify and the
everywhere
rest.
else.
Nice.
So there's your
Yeah.
plug for the day, everybody.
Oh yeah, no.
Apologize to the audio listeners.
Yes.
Hey, there's a
Just
segment.
switch to the video version. You'll find
Yeah.
that much
Yeah,
better.
just go here. So I'm kind of curious, since in the find out the picture that you just shared, kind of good topic to this question about the acts. Who are some of your favorite guest stars to work with that's
Oh,
appeared on Sunnyside?
wow, that's a good question. Like every guest is awesome. Was fabulous. And anytime like Barney came or the Sesame people, like
Or the Big Bird,
or
Oscar.
Big Bird, yeah, every single one of them, every single one of them were super funny, super cool. On a personal note, I got to do a photo shoot with Oscar Carol Spinney.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's
While Forrest was like helping.
yeah,
Carol
Forrest
with.
got to be the other end.
The right
yeah.
hand,
Yeah, it was Sean's
pretty cool.
week that I think it was Earth Day, and so Sean did a show, actually did the show with Oscar, and I was lucky enough that I was prepping that week, so I got to come in and dress up and do a photo shoot with Oscar. And we went to dinner with him, and he just told tons of stories, and it's just one of those things where you get to meet your hero, one of your heroes, and they're just equally like as big of a star as he is. He's just equally as nice and generous and friendly, and yeah, that was so awesome.
Yeah, Carol, such a wonderful man.
Another guest that I loved was in the early parts of Sprout, we had a show called Bounce, where Elizabeth Balzano,
Yeah.
she
Yes.
played the guitar and
Yeah.
sing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She came in one week, and we wore Viking hats and sang opera, and yeah, she was a lot of fun too.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
And there were like one where you and some others actually got to visit Sesame Street with and took a picture with Abby Kadabi.
Yes,
I love that.
yes. Wow, yeah, you guys do your research. Yeah, that was
How Leslie, I love Leslie so much.
yeah,
One of our favorite people we've ever had on this show.
Oh, good. Yeah, they're
It's
awesome.
really
And
really sweet.
yes, it's really interesting that like Big Bird was kind of like was used to be as a third host originally, but was that supposed to be like that?
wait.
So in the beginning, he wasn't exactly the third host. He was there to help us promote the show. So he came, so he came in. He did photo shoots. He helped us do a commercial. Matt Vogel,
Matt Vogel. Matt,
he's awesome.
Love Matt.
It's just so talented and so funny.
yeah.
So so in the early Sunny Side Up show pictures and commercials and advertisements, Big Bird was a big part of it.
That's nice. And you
They
also
helped us out.
you also got to do some live promotional events for the Sunny Setup show too.
Yes,
What were those like?
Oh, those are awesome. So we got to go to So at the time, Sprout wasn't in every single city. So what we do is we, plan to do. It was like a tour. So we did like how the hosts alternate. Excuse me.
Yeah.
We also alternated, and we went. Each host would go to a different city, and then we do weather reports with the kids. So everybody would line up, and we do live weather reports and take pictures with them so that the parents could interact with us and the kids could interact with us and kind of nudge us into like, oh, bring us into your city, or tell your cable provider, please. Oh, actually, my last bit of paraphernalia. So this was part of it.
Oh wow.
This was the
Ooh.
Oh
what is it called? The
wow.
campaign Sprout Please.
Yes,
So
Sprout Please.
Oh,
Yes,
I
that's
do
right.
remember
I
that.
remember that.
Yes.
yeah, so if you don't, so for the audio people, what I'm showing is an old poster that has Sprout characters like Ricky the Rabbit, Barney, Bob the Builder, Emil, and in one of the corners it says "Sprout, please" in a talking bubble that says,
Yeah,
"Please,
where
if you don't have."
there's like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
commercial where the kids like Sprout Please.
Sprout,
Or,
please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you don't have Sprout on your cable, please tell them.
Please tell them to get it.
Yes. That's great. That's wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. So, aside from the Sunny Side Up show, you also worked on another block for Sprout,
Mhm.
Sprout Sharing Show, which you performed Ricky, who
Oh
we
yes,
just
yes,
saw a
yes.
photo of earlier.
Yes, yes.
What was working on that block like?
Oh, that was super fun. I think it was Meredith Halpern. It was her idea, and what it was three people in the band. It was three puppeteers: Kelly, Brendan, and myself, and we played Ricky the Rabbit, Curtis the Owl, and Patty the Pig. And Patty the
yeah,
Pig was the host. Curtis,
which Kelly
Yeah.
yes, which Kelly did brilliantly.
love Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan played Courtesy Owl, who also played the bass, and
And
he
then
has such.
Forrest did the other characters like
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
mom of the
yes, yeah, correct, yeah. And Forrest was pretty much everybody else. Kelly was the mice,
pretty
but
much.
Forrest was Curtis's brother. He was Patty's mom, and he was Ricky's dad. So it's kind of like the Forrest Harding show, half of it. So, and with
Yeah.
that idea, it was very like I don't want to say simple because it's a very beautiful puppet, but it's not with a moving mouth. It's not it's something where they wanted to show or wanted to have the feel of a homemade feel, so that kids can make their own puppets, and the frame of the show was cardboard with buttons and that kind of stuff, so that it made kids feel that, oh, I could make a puppet show at home, and I could do the puppets and have fun. So that was the idea. And again, Sprout was very good in that they allowed us to write our own skits, to have our own songs. Tim Burns, who you interviewed
I
earlier,
love
I
Tim.
love
Yeah.
Yes,
Tim.
he did. It was
yeah,
wonderful.
he's a genius. He got to write a bunch of our songs, and we got to perform it, and it was really another like collaborative effort on our part. And oh, speaking of sharing show, I was wondering if you don't mind if I could ask you to share something.
Sure, go ahead.
It's a question.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
I saw that you celebrated your podcast like by years, like anniversary show, and you showed the highlights. But I was
Oh,
thinking,
yeah, that was our
of-
first year. Wow, that's a
yeah,
throwback. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but
Wow, yeah.
but then I thought a huge milestone, because I don't know what episode I am, but I think I'm around 200,
Something like
if I'm
that.
not right. So I thought, after 200 episodes, I think that is a huge achievement. I wanted to tell you guys congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very
And
much, Kevin.
you.
Thank you.
no, yeah, and think it's because it's the sharing show. I thought maybe you could share with us either what you enjoy doing about the show, because so it could be a very specific person or a moment or a specific show or something in general, and then I could start off, and then maybe Jake, Chris, and Matt could go after. And what I love about your show is that just your love and caring and respect for all your guests. And I love that you just the range of people that you've brought onto the show. It's like you have the actors, puppeteers, writers, musical people, like so it really gives a face, and everybody gets to tell their story. And it's so interesting because you realize, wow, I didn't know that person did that and that and that, because a lot of times, if they're a voice or a writer or director, you don't realize that, oh wow, they did all this stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing. Yeah, yeah, and you get to hear their own voice. So maybe, yeah, so if you could share with us, since we're talking about the sharing show, share
Yeah.
Gosh,
all
there's
these
so
200
many.
episodes. Yeah, so yeah,
There are
it could
so
just be
many.
one. It could be something in general or something
Yeah.
very specific, please.
Mhm.
I like where they did like a kind of like a songs or to talk about like I mean, what I'm thinking right now is of course, the theme it's really awesome. Sharing a beat and Wiki's I love bread.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yes, yes, I love bread. That's good.
Yeah.
And how about your podcast? What do you enjoy doing about your podcast?
Well, it's just I mean, one of the most things I love about it's not about like I mean, what we love about nostalgia, where we grew up with, Sprout, Sprout was one of those things where um it's just it was so different, but it was so simple, in any way. And I think it's really, I think, I mean, just from even watching the blogs and everything, I think the station was so great to watch
Oh,
growing
thank you,
up.
thank you.
And and of course, three of us were still talking about Sprout even to say, that why we're having you on. And we just love that, like, we're kind of like also like a variety of other things. So that's why we can, be cool to have this person, musician or writer or
Hmm.
puppeteer, or we're kind of all over the place with those things. And I think
Oh,
that's
cool.
what how special our show is. It's just we're just doing just for chat with just for those group. We're
Hmm.
doing so many other groups.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Oh,
You know.
awesome, awesome. Chris or Matt, what was some of your favorite parts of your show?
Well, I always love the editing because like
Uh-huh.
after we interview the people, then I get to basically hear the interview again and like edit it and add like pictures and stuff.
Awesome, awesome.
That's what I love. And of course, like Jake said, I mean, just chatting with the people is fun too.
Hmm.
Because, a lot of the stuff is things that we grew up with. And if it's not something that we grew up with, it's something that like maybe our audience
Hmm.
has
Hmm.
grown up with. But yeah, so that's always fun.
Oh, great, great. Yeah, we always learn different kind of things about people. Awesome.
Absolutely. I'm kind of the same way because I edit some of the episodes as well. I like Chris said, I just love going back and just watching it all over again, like we're actually recording it. But I also really love just hearing people's stories.
Hmm. Hmm.
One of my favorites from recently was when we had Peter Linz on our show, and we had Jennifer Barnhart had previously discussed this as well.
Great people.
There was two amazing people. There was this event at the White House. It was in 2002,
Oh, hmm.
and it was Sesame Street, Between the Lions, and Mister Rogers.
Yes. Hmm.
Um, and I don't remember what it was for exactly, but it was this. I think it was for this Ready to Learn grant to the U.S. Department of Education. I believe it
Oh, okay,
was
okay.
because I think that was just starting out, and Theo and Kuyo, which were Peter Linz and Jen Barnhart, they had done their little bit. They had sung a song for the show. They did their little nosy thing. It was just, and Peter had and Jen had wanted to meet Mr. Rogers. Believe it or not, they had Mr. Rogers wanted to meet them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so they did.
That's so awesome.
They did, and he and Mr. Rogers held both of their hands. I'm trying to remember what he said verbatim, but I can't. But it was something.
It's
It was
so
something along the
he's
lines
like
of "Thank
he's
you
like, thank you so much for what you do in
for
this
what you do."
country.
Yeah.
For what with the mommy line and the daddy
I think it's
line.
really important that it's that parents are loved
Affectionate one another.
Yes.
Yeah.
on television. So
Mhm,
thank you for
mhm.
that. And as you can expect, they were in tears, like, "Oh, thank you, Mr.
Wow.
Rogers."
Wow, that's
And it
awesome.
was
Such
and
a
it was
wonderful story.
and it was one of the last. I feel like it was one of the last appearances of Mr. Rogers anywhere before he passed, like less than a year later. So
Yeah.
it's just hearing those stories, you know.
Yeah, that's
It's
amazing.
just it really isn't just and just these people. They're just so down to earth, you know, like
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Peter, and we had mentioned Leslie earlier, Leslie Carrera Rudolph. She's amazing. Carmen, who does Rosita,
Mhm, mhm.
just amazing people. You know, they're not just, you know, puppeteers on Sesame Street. They're humans just like we are, and
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
just they're just all a lot of our guests are just so down to earth, and they're
Yes.
very enthusiastic about doing our show. And you know, it almost feels like a campfire at this point. Like, hey,
Yes, yes.
come over to our campfire, tell us your stories. You know, and that's what I love about it so much. Granted, I joined the show a little bit later because, you know, Jake started it and Chris did. I joined the show about 6 months after the show began,
Got it, got it.
and
Yeah.
it's just really something special about
been a
that
great
show.
ride.
It is. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
I know we'll keep on doing
Yeah.
more.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, and like Jake said, it's a wide variety of people too. It's not just
Mhm,
puppeteers;
mhm.
it's
Yeah.
writers, directors, composers, all these amazing people. Like
Mm-hmm.
it,
Yeah.
it really is something special. So that's what I
It
personally
is,
love
it
about
is.
the show.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you
Much,
very
guys.
much.
So
It means a lot. So so
really
now
does.
yes
Mhm.
so I want to say this. I know a lot of Sprout sharing, especially the Sprout sharing show fans are
Mhm.
kind of wondering. I don't want to give you on the spot or anything, but is it fine if we can hear a little bit of Wiki?
Oh, sure, sure. Um, one thing. Can I put him up on the screen
Yeah.
since I have a picture of
Yeah,
him?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Okay, hey everybody, welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. We got Jake, Chris, and we're Matt. We're having a lot of fun here. Hey, wait, you have bread? I'm kind of hungry.
Oh, that's great. Thank
Oh,
you for that.
Yeah.
that's so great.
Thank you for
That's
that.
wonderful.
So you also got to contribute to Sprout's holiday special, Preschool Musical on a Stick.
Yes,
What was it like
yes.
working on that?
It was just a
Well,
super fun experience. But again, the idea was that they could that kids could make their own puppets. You know, make a picture of themselves, put a stick on top of them, and then they could join us and sing along, and you could do this at home kind of thing. And then it was a really fun project, again, you know, with Tim making those beautiful songs. And I don't know if you saw this is like the CD cover, the CD sleeve, but
Yeah. Oh,
it has a
wow.
picture of
I've
Oh
everybody.
wow,
I've
Oh,
seen
look
it,
at
but I've
all of them.
not seen
that's
the inside. That
awesome.
is
That's
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, so for you audio listeners, it's just all
Yeah.
the different Sprout characters at that time on a stick. And it's from the sharing show and the sunny side up show, good night show, all the different blocks.
Oh,
Let's
that's
go
wonderful.
show.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, let's go show. Yeah, that was great too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Very, very fun. So moving on from your work from Sprout, you
Mhm.
acted in the Disney film Old Dogs, which
Oh,
starred John Travolta and Robin Williams, the late great Robin Williams.
yes.
What was working on that movie like?
It was my first like full length feature film experience, and it couldn't be there was no better experience. It was my first time on a big set, and um, growing up, you know, speaking of nostalgia, when I was growing up as a kid in elementary school, I used to watch John Travolta on Welcome Back, Carter. It was a sitcom back then. I used to watch him in Grease.
Oh, yeah.
And
Love Grease.
Gotta love
Grease,
Grease. Yeah.
yes.
One of my
yeah.
favorite, actually, my mom's favorite movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
believe
Yeah.
it or not, she actually went to see it in theaters when it came out in
wow, wow.
1978.
Yes,
That's
yes,
cool.
yes. Oh,
So
yes.
yeah,
Yeah. So
sorry, mom, if I'm aging you a little bit.
I'm Matt's mom. And Saturday Night Fever. You know, I was
Another
big
great
into
movie.
to the disco, and then and growing up, Robin Williams did a ton of stuff, including the Mork and Mindy show, and
Yes. Yeah.
Great too.
so
Yeah.
my first scene in doing that, unfortunately, it got cut from the movie, but my first scene was we're in this big 3 or 4 story karaoke bar, or karaoke as some people call it, 3 4 story um karaoke bar where people were singing on stage, and it was just me, Robin Williams, and John Travolta, and we had a scene together. And throughout that whole time, I was like, "You're Mark from Work, and you're from Welcome Back, Carter." It's like, it's one of those things again where you can't believe that you're working with your idols, and just yeah, the director Walt Becker was amazing, and everybody was so funny with Seth Green, and yeah, it was just Sab Shimona played my father, and it was just a thing where they were so talented and so funny. It was just like when I watch them interact, it's like watching a sitcom like live, but they're just talking and being funny. It was just yeah, it was amazing.
That's
Oh,
wonderful.
that's great. And funny enough, some previous guests with puppeteers, so Noah McNeil and John Candy,
Oh yeah, yeah.
were they a part of that film too?
So you know what? There was a section where on stage there was Bernie Mac, the late great Bernie Mac. He was a child star celebrity. So he had all the puppets
Mm,
dancing with them, and I
okay.
think they
That's
they did, they did all the
Oh, that's
puppeteering, and a
right.
bunch of
okay.
yeah, bunch of them
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
doing
that's awesome.
puppeteering.
that's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
No, John, and great guys.
Yes.
So
So
so many great guys
yeah,
in the
Yes,
puppetry biz.
So many wonderful people.
absolutely. So
that is true.
you also appeared in the shows 30 Rock and Hawaii Five O. Can you talk a bit about those?
Oh yeah, so that was another working with your idols. I got to work with Alec Baldwin, and we did a
Yeah,
bit on
wow.
stage, yeah. And then for Hawaii Five O, I did a scene with Alex O'Loughlin. So that one, you know how a lot of times you get to play different characters, and so I was lucky enough that I was brought back. 1 year I played the bailiff. A few years later, I played a victim of a robbery, and then one time I played an FBI agent, and it was funny where so for yeah, yeah, so it was just yeah, it was just a fun experience.
Nice.
That's good to hear. That's awesome. So I'm kind of curious, what was it like to work on the short film Ninja X Bow Killers?
Oh, so yeah, so we had Ninja EX Biokillers. I'm very fortunate in that Aaron Yamasato, he's the writer director. He's written and produced a bunch of local Hawaii TV shows and movies. Um, one of which is this character called Ninja EX. I think the EX stands for extreme. It's played by Kevin Wan, who's this former firefighter, and he has I don't know how many black belts he has, but he has a lot. He's like this super agile, strong, fighter. And in this one, the Bio Killers, he pretty much has to fight like zombies, and I'm like the leader of the zombies. I'm not a zombie myself, but I do this whole monologue thing, and tell him to attack him, kind of thing. So like in every single time, well, because I'm not a fighter, in terms of like I'm not very good at martial arts and stuff, but I leave that to the people who there's this group called the Ninja Monkeys, um, who are a big stunt group in Hawaii, and they do all the stunts and the fighting, and they're super fun and super talented and athletic, of course. And so there's this string. There was a TV series called Ninja EX, and there was a few short films after that
Hmm.
with that same character, the Ninja EX. So that Ninja EX Biokillers is the latest installment where um, the main character, Ninja EX, played by Kevin Wan, has to fight, I guess, biokillers into uh, what do they call it? Bioengineered kind of mutants to fight.
Hmm. Yeah, that's nice. So One of your
Yes.
more recent acting roles was on the reboot of Magnum PI. What was that like?
Oh, that was a lot of fun. So this time I played the captain of and then I had to interview one of the detectives, and I had to grill him. It's like, why are you do or why did you do this, and what is your explanation? And so that was a lot of fun too. And over the years, I've kind of evolved in from like a beat cop to a detective, and now I'm playing captain. So I'm not sure what's next.
Yeah.
Mm. No worries. One thing I going back to your question earlier, one thing I did forget to mention why
Oh
we
yeah.
enjoy one thing we enjoy I about the show, I just remembered, like it feels like we've become really close with these people as well.
Yeah.
Going back to Leslie for a second,
Oh yeah.
Leslie Trevor, when we had her on, like at the very beginning, she's like, I'm so honored to be one of the friends, like that's a huge honor hearing that from the puppeteer of Abby Kadabi.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
and
such a
that's
huge
Matt's
honor.
and actually
That was my 100th
his
episode.
100th episode.
Uh,
Oh, nice,
yeah,
And
nice.
when
I
and when
I
and
couldn't
when
have asked for such an amazing guest as
and
Leslie.
when oh yes, and when he told her that it was the 100th episode, that she was about she was
She was
there was a
about to
moment that she's
cry.
about to cry.
He was about to
Oh,
cry. Like it was so
wow.
that was such a special moment.
Leslie,
And
such a wonderful, wonderful person.
Donna Kimball, same thing.
Yes,
Puppeteer of
Donna,
Moki
yeah.
Fraggle. She was honored to
Yeah,
be
for
on
Frog Rock,
Fraggle Rock Back to the
Back to the
Yeah.
Rock.
Rock.
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness,
Yeah.
there's so many
There's so
people.
many.
A lot of people who said that kind of thing, and it really just like, wow, we actually know these people. Like it's
Yeah.
mind blowing. But
Yeah.
it almost I hate making comparisons, but it almost sort of feels like we've become the Muppet Show of like nostalgic podcasts. Because
Oh yeah.
only because so many people want to do it. So
Yeah,
we're
of
our
course.
200th episode coming up very soon. You know,
Yeah.
it really is just incredible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we talked a lot about your work in the past, but can you share any projects you're currently working on?
Okay, so I played a doctor on NCIS Hawaii a few weeks
Oh,
ago. Yeah, it was the season opener for season 3. So my scene was with Vanessa Lachey, and then she had to pass her medical exam in order to get back into the field. And it was a serious scene, but it also had bits of comedy in it too. And she's just a fabulous actor in person. Um, had that. Another thing that just came out this past year is Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. It's a video game from Sega, and I play one of the, or I play a few of the characters, but one of the characters I play is a character called Sotaro Komaki,
Hmm.
and he was a former teacher of one of the main characters, and so there's one of the kind of like main fights I have to fight with him. So it was like Sotaro Komaki answers the call. So he has a very rich and kind of like samurai voice, and it was fun, and because when you're doing the voice acting for that, there's a ton of different scenarios where, like, you know how the characters, I don't know if you guys are video gamers or you play video games, but there's a lot of special um powers that they have, or special
Yeah.
finishing moves. So
Right.
one, there's this big dragon that comes on and shoots you, and you have to go, impossible. Or there's one where a whole army comes and fights you, and and then, or there's one where you turn around and there's this big Gatling gun and it goes dun, 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 and you have to say, okay, your character is going to be thrown 30 feet back, and that's the noise you make. Okay, go. So you have to make all different noises for all the different finishing moves, like, okay, now you're drowning, all that. So like there's all these different scenarios where you have to voice all the different possible outcomes.
That's
So that's where
funny.
it's funny. Yeah, yeah.
That's nice.
That's great.
Um,
So as we're about to wrap up here, so the last question that Jake is going to ask is a question we ask all of our guests at the end. Go ahead, Jake.
Thank you, Chris. Of course, this podcast is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of? In your own words, how would you define the word nostalgia?
Nostalgia. That's I think that's a warm, loving, fond memory that you have, and oftentimes it's during your childhood, and oftentimes it's about something that isn't there anymore. Like for instance, for me, it would be like the Checkers and Pogo show, or Kikaida, or Mr.
Or
Rogers' Neighborhood.
Sprout,
Or
or
Sprout, yeah, that's true, that's true. So that, yeah, that would be my explanation of it.
That's nice. Great word to end on. So, well, Kevin, thank you so much for taking the time to do
Oh
this.
no,
This was a
thank you.
blast.
yes, and
Yeah, yeah.
thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
guys.
Yes, of
Thank
course,
you.
of course,
And
Kevin, and thank you very much for being here and sharing with us.
oh
And
no,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for what you've done over the years in the Sprout franchise, and thank you for what you've done, be a part of our lives, and thank you very much for being on. Keep up with what you're doing now, and cannot wait what's next in store for you.
Oh, thank you. Well, guys, it's been an honor to be on the show. Thank you for answering the question, and congratulations. What you guys are doing is really good. So
Oh,
Thank you
thank you
very
so
much,
much.
Kevin.
It
Thank you
really
so
means a lot.
much.
give
We
it
appreciate support.
200 episodes is an amazing accomplishment. So give you
Yeah.
guys selves a
Really
pat on the
is.
back, and yeah,
Without a
awesome,
doubt.
awesome. Good, yeah.
Yes.
Good luck with everything else,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Thank you very
You
you.
much,
as
Kevin.
well.
Thank
You
Keep
too.
keep in touch, Kevin. We'll
Same
let you
here,
know when
same
this
here.
goes up.
Yes, we'll
Awesome.
let you
Thank you,
know.
guys.
All right.
Thank
Enjoy the rest of your day,
you.
Kevin. Bye-bye.
Take care, Kevin.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
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 It's goodbye from us as well. We absolutely enjoyed our time talking with Kevin Yamada.
Yes.
We all grew up watching Sprout, so getting to interview another Sprout person was a really good pleasure for us.
Yes, and if you guys want to be in touch or contact with him in any shape or form, his social will be in the description down below, so y'all can give a follow or send a message.
Yes, but it's goodbye from Kevin, and it's goodbye from us as well. Keep on the lookout for more wonderful interviews coming your way. Jake, take us home. What do we say?
Keep nostalgia alive. Take care, everyone. See you next time. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show interview. Be sure to follow Jake and the crew on social media and stream the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember to keep nostalgia alive. Bye-bye.